All right, guys, so today we're gonna look at two different in-ear monitors from the same company. And I titled this video A Tale of Two Earbuds because one is actually really excellent, where the other one is, well, whatever the opposite of excellent is. And the pairs we're gonna talk about is the Tin HiFi T4 and the Tin HiFi P1. Now let's go ahead and start with the P1. This is what they consider their flagship model, and I do want to say this about both earbuds. The presentation on both of these, the unboxing experience, is really nice. You can tell that you're getting something that they put a lot into. And the P1s come in at $169. Now with opening the P1, it actually opens up, has the top connected to the bottom. It opens in a way where you look like you're getting a piece of jewelry. You even see the very nice hard leather case that they're including, which is fairly large. Now the buds themselves are actually a metal housing where it's majority like stainless steel. So even when you pick those up, you can tell even by the design, by the feel, that you're getting something that is quality made. Now the cable on this is one of those tightly braided cables. It uses a gold-plated MMCX connector, so it's one of those if you do have other cables because it's a common one, or if you want to buy different aftermarket ones, you can. But the included cable is really nice, and I had no issues there. Now the drivers that they use in the P1s are 10mm planar magnetic drivers, which if you're familiar with those, you're getting more of a neutral sound, sometimes a little bit more in the high end and not so much with the bass. And so I kind of knew what to expect going into these. But when I saw that the impedance level was 20 ohms, I thought, okay, this is gonna be something we're gonna be able to turn up and maybe get a little bit more out of. And this is the surprising part. It was very hard to push these, very hard to get really decent volume out of. To be honest, the overall sound signature, even though they describe it as being very pure and balanced, I would have went more with the tagline of really dull and veiled. Now, I know that doesn't roll off the tongue as much and probably wouldn't sell as many, but it is a very just bland sounding earbud. And I don't even mean flat response. I've heard plenty of headphones and earbuds and monitors that have a flat response that I know what to expect when it comes to that. This essentially feels like, you know, it's kind of trying to live a little bit, but somebody came by, put a pillow over its face, and is just hoping that it will go away. And in the meantime, you get to hear the struggle of somebody from behind a pillow. It's just very muffled, and again, it's really hard to enjoy. So you take a flat response and then you just kind of bring it down notches below that. So the P1, I highly recommend that you stay away from. But here's the difference though. The T4, which actually is being released today. This is the whole reason of doing this video, is today is the release day. Even though it's on Indiegogo, this one retails for $109, but they're offering like an early bird special where you can pick it up for 79 bucks. So the price difference of these being 79, where the P1s are $169, is a huge difference. But the big difference here is the T4s are excellent. They're a really good pair of in-ear monitors and sound completely different. Now I know that these have a 10mm dynamic driver, but this is the confusing thing. These have 30 ohms, so essentially you would think these are harder to push. And this is far from the truth because the T4s are extremely loud. I mean, I had to turn it way down below what I'm used to using on other headphones and earbuds. But let's go ahead and check out the unboxing experience on these as well. Again, the presentation is really, really nice. And in fact, even on the T4, it comes with a leather hard case as well. I prefer the one on the T4 because it is a more flatter case and I like the way that it opens better. Now the cable that's on the T4 is a silver plated cable. And to me, it kind of has a sticky feel to it, and maybe it's just made to where it's not kind of flopping around as much and will stick more to the material of your clothes. I'm not sure of the whole purpose of that, but I can say that it doesn't have any kind of rubbing effect with what you're listening to, as to where some wired cables, you can actually hear the material once it's rubbing against it, and that's not an issue with these. Now it also uses the same gold-plated MMCX connectors, so again, it's a very common cable. But here's what makes these special. The design of these, first off, look very, very unique. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know if it's the jet on a plane, the little blades that spin around. It kind of has that look to the back of it. It just has a unique look. The fit of these are extremely comfortable. It's one of those, it's very lightweight, even though this one is made out of aluminum. And so you have a little bit of a weight difference compared to the metal housing on the P1s. But The sound on the T4s, this is what makes these worth it in my opinion. I'll even say they're worth it at the $109 price range, even though there is a lot of competition in that range. These are extremely dynamic monitors, but while being dynamic, there is so much attention to detail that this is one of those, you can hear subtle things in drums that usually you lose in the mix with other headphones, even the strumming of acoustic guitars. The very fine detail that the T4s pick up is crazy to me. The mids on these are so natural and forward, where the treble is the definite star of the show on the T4s in my opinion. So if you're somebody that likes a lot of detail, a lot of clarity, this is one of those that you might want to check out. Now, as far as for bass heads, I still feel like the T4, even though it's a tighter, impactful bass, it's still enough there that bass heads would be happy. It picks up on some of the lower frequencies that a lot of other headphones miss out on, and it has a slight little bit of rumble, but again, this is more impactful and tighter than what you're probably used to. Now, the sound stage and the sound imaging on the T4s is also very, very good. It feels like you're more in a large room because of the clarity and the detail that you're picking up on instruments. It also helps with telling where the instruments are coming from and even some of the distance of where instruments are coming from. So I was completely surprised because I have had the P1s for quite a while. In fact, I put them on the shelf and just kind of forgot about them because I really didn't enjoy them. But when they offered to send out the T4s for me to check out, I was hesitant at first, but I said, okay, let's give it a shot. And they absolutely blow away what they considered their flagship monitor. So I don't know if they're listening, maybe they are, but I would highly recommend that you put a little bit more focus on the T4s than you do the P1s. I think you have a really nice product here that I highly recommend, where the other one was one that I just couldn't recommend. So guys, that's my video on Tin HiFi's P1 and T4 in-ear monitors, both completely different, offering something completely different, and two different price ranges, but with the lower one being the much better earbud / monitor. But guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.